Namaste, and welcome back to the Yoga and Self-Mastery Summit with Hanuman Academy. My name's Yoshi. I'm the co-founder of Hanuman Academy, and today we have the pleasure of sitting with Mayan teacher Miguel Angel. Miguel, welcome.
Hi. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm very happy to be in this Hanuman Festival, to see all the people together in one special purpose, which is bring the community sense all over the planet.
Yes, thank you for being here. We're honored to have your presence, and we've been speaking about this concept of oneness, of community, and how we see that we all need community and how everyone is connected.
Yes.
But one thing that I've noticed is the conversation around why are we all connected?
Yes.
And because there are all these different lineages, and you're part of the Mayan lineage. You are a lineage holder of Mayan tradition, and I know that there are so many similarities. Could you speak about that?
Yes, of course, with pleasure. Well, we have in the Yucatán the great honor to connect with the ancient legends and stories. Especially, there is a book, it's called the Popol Vuh, who means the stories of the ancient ones through the time and space. But in connection with this idea of the wholeness and oneness and unity, there is a beautiful story in the Maya land connecting with an ancient island that is popular with the name of Atlantis, the Atlantis Island, who was in the old times located 10,000, 12,000 years ago, with now the lands of the Gulf of Mexico. And in that time, as we are now in this special moment, all that we see, all that we call positive, negative, people looking in different directions. That happened too in the time of Atlantis, according with this legend. And in that time, the people speak, one language and have the crystals and have temples and have a great knowledge. But what happened is, little by little, these people began to forget the original principles of the spirituality. As an emergency moment, the White Brotherhood in that time of Atlantis choose different teachers from different traditions that we know now traditions. As an example, for example, they choose the teacher Osiris, and he was the one who chose the people who knows about the mysteries of life and death and went to Egypt. They choose the teacher, the Mayan teacher, Itzamna, and he is going to choose the ones who have the knowledge from the heart. And then so on, and then Viracocha in the Inca, he chose the people who has the power of levitate stones and to move big weights. And so on, and in the Maya cosmovision, in the Mayan story, this is what we, in that precise moment, these teachers choose the chosen ones, and they live before the sinking of Atlantis, that already the Mayan teachers, the White Brotherhood, they know that it's going to sink because the abuse of the technology, or the misuse of the atomic weapons. That caused the sink of Atlantis. So we can imagine a tree. The tree is Atlantis, and this tree has branches. Mayas, Hindus, Tibetans, Japanese, Druids, Peruvians, and all the ancient ones, the Hindus, the Mayas, have in common the source of Atlantis. That's what we find now that we are unity. We find, you're community. I feel that you have something, ceremony, mantras, chants, incense, shells,
it's also
drums,
familiar.
Colors of the rainbow. So this is why I think that it's important to know that we are one. And now we are recognizing in every person what the Mayan said, in Lakech, I am you, Alaken, you are me. And in India, they say Namaste. So I think that it will explain why we are now looking as in these festivals like this one, Hanuman, in a very important moment to reunite precisely the concepts and to be one in heart. that
one in
we are
heart
one.
and one in community.
One in community.
Yeah.
So I think that is explained to many people why we are so similar.
Yeah,
You know,
it is
in many ways.
That is so interesting that you touch upon that, and you're explaining to me that they knew that these elders need to go out
Yes.
with these
Yes.
certain teachings
Yes.
before the
The
fall,
sinking, yes.
the sinking.
Yes, as we know through I belong to a council of Mayan priests because I received this initiation years ago and studied with the Mayan teacher for 17 years. And in some point, you are welcome to this advice of elders. And through that situation, you can know things what's going to happen. And this happened the same in Atlantis time. There was a group of elders, so they call the White Brotherhood in Atlantis, that they already know that it's coming. They could read things, they could see things were coming.
Yeah.
There's a level of consciousness.
Yes.
So I think that we are in that similar time. Maya, when Itzamna came from Atlantis before the sinking, the people who came with him, asked to him, how are we going to call this new land? And he said, we are going to call Maya, M-A-Y-A-B, who means the land of the chosen ones. So we can say Mayas are in India, chosen ones in India, chosen ones in Peru, chosen ones in the Native American lands, chosen ones in Japan, in China. Everywhere you go, Maya is not a person with specific features physically. Maya is a consciousness statement.
That is a key point. That right there is what you talk about. It's, I mean, it is not just a set of physical features,
yes.
how your eyes look, how your skin
No,
looks.
Exactly.
Yeah, and this is all related to the one,
To the one.
with all of us. And as we relate to the practice of yoga, and yoga it encompasses not just one specific thing, but it encompasses all,
Yes.
as you speak of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And another thing it's quite interesting to explain in order that we understand why we are community. For many years, I've seen people don't understand deeply the term Indio, I-N-D-I-O. Well, studying the Mayan philosophy and then the Hindu tradition, Indio, I-N, means inside. D-I-O means God. So who is an Indio? Who is a Hindu? The one who has God inside. Yes. And then you go with the Latin, who is in Deus. Then you go with the Nahuatl, Aztec, in Teotl, the same meaning. In the Maya, in Teol. And in the Greek, in Deus. So all the words say, an Indio is a person who has God within his heart.
So that is not coincidence. That is all related.
And
Amazing.
of course, you know, you traveled in the States and you see still the tribes, the communities, etc., with different names, but they are indigenous. Indigenous means the ones who makes God within. When you are in a spiritual community doing the yoga, what yoga means?
Unity of all.
Unity.
Yeah.
So when you relink with your God within, you are a chosen one. You are a Maya. Because you have chosen to put God within you.
Yes.
You relink with God through the yoga practice. And that is what makes us to, now we can share Mayas, Hindus, traditions, connect them because we are one. We came from the same source who one day was our home. And now this is the thing. We need to take care of this house. It's only one house. It's our planet in only one family.
Yes. Yeah.
That is, for me, one of the most important understandings in my life, to consider myself as a part of this family.
A global family.
Worldwide, you know?
Yeah, a universal family.
A universal family.
Yeah.
And to have these facts to explain people that Indio is the one who has God within. And yoga is the one who relink or link with God. And it's a decision that you can make through your own practices.
Yes.
A level of consciousness who is Maya, is a consciousness
Yes.
statement.
Yeah. I like how you just related that all to the practice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know every tradition has their own practice,
Yeah.
but with and relating it all to the one,
Yeah.
how, if you can sort of explain to me a practice that
Okay.
that can encompass a deeper understanding of self,
Yes.
that might relate to all the different lineages.
Well, I think that we can say the heart is one of the most important ways to understand worldwide that we are one. One day, walking in one Mayan site who is in the border with Guatemala, is called Copan, Copan. Copan is one of the most wonderful places in terms of art. But at the same time, the teachers there show the mudra of the heart. So the mudra of the heart in the Maya is this, and is coming exactly in this position. So this is the heart position. But if you go in another tradition, you can do this, you know, what is the Hindu, and then from there you can do the cross, who is Christian. It's exactly the same mudra.
Yeah.
So when you do this, this is a position to connect again, to close your eyes in a position of lotus, who is Hindu and Maya tradition. It's the same thing that you can see everywhere when you reconnect with the heart. And this is what I think is important. The mudra is a position to reconnect and you tune with that energy who is within your heart. And the heart is the sun in the Maya. So I think that is another example how the mudras in the Hindu and the Maya are the same. We have this one, for example, too, who means, you know, to listen and to learn in Maya. We have this one, who is the three forces, Father, Mother, Son, in one. It means when you learn and you walk. And we can go, you know, to the Maya in many different mudras that now have a meaning in the Hindu tradition, but represent the same thing.
Yeah.
When somebody receive and give, you know, when
the
somebody
sky.
changes to
Yeah.
say, okay, now I go with the mother and give to the father,
Yeah.
or receive from the father and
Yeah.
give in to the mother. So the concept of the goddesses is the concept of gods and goddesses is important too. Because people sometimes have not the deep understanding that the gods and goddesses are not physical beings. They represent universal principles of life. So I used to imagine, you know, in the time of Atlantis or Lemuria, the energy of the planet was so strong. Imagine that you see a thunder, you know, and you see the rivers, and you see the volcanoes in explosion, and you see all kind of animals. So imagine that moment. What are you going to think about? You want to know more about it, and then you may model a figure with a goddesses of the lotus flower, and then you model another with Chak, the Lord of the Rain. But there are principles. They don't worship the statue as the mother. They worship the principle of the water, the principle of the flowers, the principle of the fire, the principle of
essence,
the air, the essence. And this is very important not to be confused. This is the time to clarify.
Interesting, yeah.
That the Father, Mother is one. The Mayans call heart of the sky, heart of the earth. In you, and me, and all, we are the heart of hearts. We are here very important because we are between the sky and the earth. And without us, believe it or not, we are so important for the purpose of the Creator. So I think that is a great invitation that we have a great opportunity to share this with all the teachers, with all the guides, gurus, and with all the great guides that we have in the planet. That they are open to share this.
Yeah, to share.
To share it and to say, okay, this is my tradition. This is what I know. Do you want to take something from that menu, with that buffet?
Yeah.
Okay. If not, it's okay too.
It's okay. Yeah, I hear that. And you say now is the time. And I relate that to what you started off talking about.
Yeah.
In the ancient times of Atlantis,
Yeah.
they knew that there had to be more balance and things. They sent out the teachers.
Yeah.
Do you feel that we are in that
Yeah.
similar time? Because you just
Yeah.
mentioned that we are in a time
Yeah.
right now that we need to do all this. We need
Okay.
to share.
Yes.
What is this relationship between that time and
Okay.
this time?
That's a very good question, and I think that is important to clarify. Well, from the knowledge that I know, we are now living the sixth sun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so each in the Mayan calendar we have eras, or ages. So they said that in the first era we were androgynous, very very long time ago, and this is called the era of the protoplasmatic people. We were androgynous, very tall people, very tall, semi-physic and semi-etheric, very tall. In that time, at the end of that era, symbolically, these people become in jaguars. So the totem of that humankind, the first, is to become in jaguars.
Okay.
But jaguars, symbolically, is the hidden wisdom, who is in between the stars.
Yeah.
Then a second age come, again androgynous, still we were not separated. And then in that time, we were the Hyperborean humanity. Tall, 6 meters, like the ones who are now in the Eastern Island.
Well, can you say Hyperborean?
Hyperborean is the name of that humankind.
Okay.
And it's in more or less the idea of the ones, the statues found in Rapa Nui in the Eastern Island, okay, in Chile. So this era came again. People still come back. The planet was shaking still, but it's coming more and more solid. And these people were become, in that time, in monkeys.
You like that?
And then we have a third era, who is Lemuria, who is more accessible now. Lemuria is dated 100,000 years ago. In the middle of Lemuria, we have something very special. We were separated from sexes. Before that, we copulate together, and we have the children from the area of the knee outside, like a tree. The children came from this.
Okay.
And as a remember of that, in Brazil, they have a concept say ventre das pernas. The womb between the legs.
Oh, okay.
As I remember of that time when the children came out from this. Still, we are very attracted to see in this area of the women. So that happened in that time. And then, as a reminder of that, maybe you have questioned yourself why people needs to have a honeymoon. The honeymoon is a concept or a practice that happened in Lemuria when the couples were together, and they need to do a journey, sacred journey, to visit some teachers in another area. So they put together themselves and they do the journey to look for a teacher in another area of the country, taking 6 months, 1 year, And the honeymoon has that source. So we need to go out as we are together, but the main principle has forgotten. Now, the honeymoon is just to go to a place where we can have intimacy. But in that time is to go to receive the sacred knowledge.
To learn.
Okay, to learn.
Yeah.
So these people, these people in that time, they become themselves in birds. That's the remaining of the birds, of the feathers in the Native American, countries. And then Atlantis, the port of mankind.
So you have the jaguar age,
monkey, then birds,
now
fishes. Atlantis was the fishes.
Okay.
It's connecting with the water, the sink. And now we are living the end of the fifth sun, or the fifth race. We are the Arios, A-R-I-O-S.
Okay.
So we finish in December 21st, 2012, the fifth sun, and we are now living the sixth sun. What is the sixth sun prophecy in the Maya? Is the return of the wise men and women. That is the prophecy. So the Mayans, all the Mayan elders know that we are living a new sun. We are living a new moment. We are living a new consciousness. We need to come back to the sources to be lovers of our planet.
Yes.
To be community again. To see in the other one your other you. Namaste, in Lak'ech, Shalom, and all the words that we know connecting with another human being.
Yeah.
The Mayans have a beautiful concept about this. And they said, I asked my teacher one day, how did the Mayans call this planet? And he said me, they call the house of the mirrors.
Wow.
And wherever you look, what you see is a
Your
mirror
reflection.
in front of you.
Yes.
It could be a river, could be a tree, could be an animal, it could be a human being, or could be a city. We always reflect in ourselves what I feel. If I love myself, I love you by reflection. If I hate myself, I hate you by reflection.
Exactly.
So we are in this time, and I am so glad to have the chance to be in this festival and to see how people is working to arise their consciousness, to become one day, as the Maya said, in a chosen one. And to see how open is now the secret knowledge, the esoteric knowledge, the spiritual knowledge to everyone in the world, books, documents, festivals, yoga, Maya, everywhere. And this is the time when they said that nothing has been hidden is coming out, that we know the truth. And if you see in the last 10 years the discoveries of they discovered precisely the island of Atlantis, submerged 700 meters underwater between Yucatán and Cuba, and fulfilled the prophecy of Edgar Cayce, who said, in the last times of this humanity, Atlantis will come out again. And it's a fact that happened. We know that the dinosaurs now, bones, recently they discovered the ancient bones of the human beings in Africa. So we are looking that we have a source, the giants discovered in India, people of 7-8 meters.
Yeah.
They mentioned even in the Popol Vuh, they said there were no men, there were giants. So we can relate to this with all what is happening. And this is what I want really to emphasize in this talk with you, that we are living in very important times. And whatever we have to do with love, do from the heart. And that is going to impact the other people, the other consciousness. And I think that is the main purpose. And I really congratulate to be in a Hanuman Festival and to be that idol and dream coming true.
Yes.
Through the effort, to the open heart of the people, to the teachers who are coming to give their own teachings to everyone.
Which is a reflection of Hanuman's heart.
Hanuman's heart, exactly.
Yeah, and
exactly.
that's funny, because I was going to ask you what are some words that we can leave everyone with, and that sums up a lot of what we talk about throughout these teachings is the heart.
Yeah.
And how important the heart is.
I think that we have a very important knowledge about the Mayan calendar. I think that is what called the attention of many people, probably the entire world in 2012.
Yeah, I remember.
Well, for this time, the Mayans, the summer solstice dates, they have a very beautiful concept with the Mayan, in the Mayan glyphs. They said in Maya, they said, Yetelpash Kayav Kumku Waye, who means with singing and dancing, the son, the father, stop here. So
beautiful.
what we're doing today is that. We're singing and dancing with enthusiasm. And by the way, enthusiasmo means inside tells God. The ones who have enthusiasm have God within their hearts. So everything that you do with that enthusiasm, with that happiness, singing and dancing, the son is going to be very happy.
That's great. And I remember years ago you told me the sun will always protect me.
Yes.
And that was very sweet.
Thank you.
Just learning that you gave me, and I've used that throughout the years.
Yes.
and always know that.
Yes. And
The sun
another
is there.
thing to tell everybody is don't forget that you are that heart of hearts. And you are a precious stone.
Yes.
All we are that. The only thing is we need to polish the facets, the faces. And one day that elixir, that stone, that philosopher's stone will shine.
Yes.
That's what we are here for. So whatever is your path, whatever is your training, your practice, do with love. And I think that is the most important, singing and dancing. The Father, Son will stop here.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
In Lakesh.
Alakin. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.